Good morning. It's Sunday, February 2nd. I'm Lisa Evers in the Fox 5 newsroom. Thank you for joining us live on the Fox Local app. A 9-year-old boy with severe autism was shot and killed in Newark Friday evening. Now his family and community leaders are demanding justice. Police say 9-year-old Yassine Morrison was getting out of a car with his dad and 3-year-old sister about 5:30 p.m. Friday when a gunman opened fire, striking the boy despite his father's attempts to shield him. Police do not believe the child was the intended target. And it's Groundhog Day. Staten Island Chuck did not see a shadow this morning, meaning spring is coming early. Hundreds gathered on Staten Island to see it all go down. As for Punxsutawney Phil, he saw his shadow, predicting 6 more weeks of winter. As for today's forecast, cold and cloudy. Tonight, mix of rain and snow. Tomorrow, clouds and sun. It's been a difficult week following 2 air disasters. Recovery crews are on the scene in Washington searching for the remains of victims. One of those victims is from Connecticut. Fox 5's Richard Giacovas has more on how a dog rescue center is trying to move forward after a devastating loss.
3-year-old pit bull mix Bryce was waiting at the Lucky Dog Refuge on Thursday for her daily walk. But the volunteer who was supposed to leash her up never showed.
We had already put our list of volunteers on the board for that day, and Chris was in that 5 o'clock slot.
That volunteer was Christopher Collins, a 42-year-old from Stamford, Connecticut, who spent most of his time off from work volunteering here at this refuge, a safe haven for dogs in need. Chris was one of the passengers on board American Airlines Flight 5342 on Wednesday night. The regional jet colliding with an Army Black Hawk chopper in midair. There were no survivors. The staff and volunteers here at the refuge are still in disbelief over the loss of their friend Chris.
I couldn't stop crying all night. He made this world better, and not having him, it feels wrong.
A man loved by both his volunteer friends and those helpless rescues who each formed a bond with Chris from the first day he started volunteering here.
He's the type of person who he loved animals. Animals were a passion of his. It was a purpose.
Chris Collins not only was a volunteer here at Lucky Dog at least 3 times a week, he was also the volunteer who logged the most hours, 150 hours in just over a year. Chris didn't want any money for it or anything in return. He just wanted to give back. That's what made him happy. And the volunteers and staff here at Lucky Dog say that's what his legacy will be.
If anybody could do even a little bit of what Chris was able to do, I think that would honor him in a way.
He was just an amazing guy, and the dogs loved him and loved spending time with him, and we're going to miss him and his time here.
The Lucky Dog Refuge staff is planning a memorial walk in Chris's honor later this month. But for now, they hold on to memories, remembering that great big heart and a giant smile.
That smile brought us so much joy and brightness to the day. Just his smile made you feel better already.
In Stamford, Connecticut, Richard Giacovas, Fox 5 News.
A 2-year-old Staten Island boy who was critically injured in a fire left the hospital this weekend, marking a milestone in his remarkable recovery. Ian Perellis and his family were met with smiles and applause from hospital staff and members of the FDNY as he went home today. Firefighters pulled Ian out of a basement window at his burning home on January 17th.
We lost our home, but we didn't lose everything. We have our baby boy, so it's okay. Other things are replaceable, and he isn't.
Ian's 3rd birthday is Monday. People living in Flatbush, Brooklyn are raising concerns about changes coming to their neighborhood. It comes after a number of local businesses are being forced to shut down. Fox 5's Meredith Gorman has more.
An entire block of Flatbush businesses has shut down, and no one is saying exactly why. But business owners in the community we spoke to are getting pushed out, leaving local business owners with no choice but to shut their doors, even after decades for some, like this bodega owner whose store on the corner of Clarkson and Bedford Avenues has been in the family for more than 40 years.
My grandfather worked here, and my father's with me, all the same family.
On this block alone, 8 stores are being forced to shut down because of what residents tell me is the landlord's redevelopment plans. Some of the businesses have already closed, while others are being forced to vacate, like Cups and Books, a bookstore cafe that has been open for 4 years before the landlord told them they have to leave the space. Now, the owners are forced to sell off their remaining inventory and close up shop.
The rent that we're looking at, if we decide to stay in this area, are more than double.
Longtime staple Mike's Pizza is another spot being forced to close its doors, and neighbors are sad to lose their beloved pizza spot, who say there was no shortage of customers there.
This was the hood pizza. It's gone now. It's our store. People is raised here. They got to shut down because of the price now.
Now, we tried to get a hold of the landlord to see what the plan is for these empty storefronts once the final remaining businesses close, but we were unable to get a hold of anybody. Reporting from Flatbush, I'm Meredith Gorman, Fox 5 News.
Costco and the Teamsters Union have reached a tentative agreement on a new contract, avoiding a strike. The union spokesperson confirming the news, but did not detail what is included in the contract. The union previously said they want a contract that reflects the company's sales growth. Last week, the union voted in favor of a strike if a 3-year agreement was not reached. The union represents workers in 6 states, including New York and New Jersey. Con Edison files a plan for hefty gas and electric rate hikes next year. Under Con Ed's proposal, electric bills would jump by more than 11% on average, and gas bills would soar more than 13% beginning January 1st. The utility says the increases are needed to upgrade infrastructure. The New York State Public Service Commission would have to approve any rate hikes. You survived dry January, but can you complete No Buy 2025? It is a new trend where people focus on paying off debt. Fox 5's Teresa Priolo shows us more and more people are jumping on the No Buy bandwagon.
There's a new shopping trend anticipated to take over in 2025. The rise of the Buy Nothing group, which is exactly as it sounds, a way to barter and trade the goods you have for the goods you need or want. Lisa Clark is the CEO of the Buy Nothing Project.
The Buy Nothing Project is the world's largest network of gifting communities, which means we are hyper-local gift economies that are in any community that anybody wants to have one. And we enable people to ask for whatever they want, give away whatever they have in excess.
Go ahead and search Facebook. There's a good chance every single town or neighborhood around you has a Buy Nothing group, and usually they have thousands of members. Users are trading everything from couches to cookware, from the ordinary to the obscure.
We have 1.4 million people who are in the Buy Nothing app and 12.5 million people in Buy Nothing Facebook groups.
The whole idea of Buy Nothing groups, or this idea of a gift economy, really goes hand in hand with the idea of underconsumption. But the financial expert I talked to said, really, this all goes back to the economy.
I do think this is a year where we are going to see a much more mainstream discussion when it comes to Buy Nothing and Buy Nothing groups, because people are very concerned about inflation. We did think we would see lower prices going forward, but the fact is, when we go to the grocery store, when we go to the mall, when we buy the things that we want to buy, we are seeing those higher prices, and people are just getting fed up.
Then there's the idea of saving the planet, consuming less, and for some, it's also a practice in self-control. In Totowa, Teresa Priolo, Fox 5 News.
It is Black History Month. Celebrations began this weekend. This one happened at the Bronx Youth Empowerment Program in Williamsbridge. Students delivered inspirational messages and taught their peers and the community the value of Black excellence and Black Americans' contributions to society. And something is blooming at Madison Square Park, and it's not real flowers, rather a Lego flower display. The pop-up is in celebration of Valentine's Day. It includes 3 gardens, a flower truck, and offers guests the ability to build their own daffodil. The pop-up is up until 5 p.m. tonight. And a final check of the forecast today: cold and cloudy. Tonight, mix of rain and snow. Tomorrow, clouds and sun. And that does it for us this morning. I'm Lisa Evers. Have a great day. Remember, Fox 5 News is always streaming here on the Fox Local app.